Welcome back to the video, guys. I don't know if this is a new video or the same video. It's all just an experiment to me, so I don't know where this clip's going to fall, but it is 6:20 in the morning, and I'm heading back to the courts for some more drilling this morning. I'm experimenting with getting up early and going to the courts and doing an hour in the morning before anybody wakes up. So if I go at 6, basically if I get there about 6:20 to 6:30, I can drill for about an hour, get home about 7:30. And it puts it so that it's not a distraction or interruption to anybody else's day at my house, because everybody's still in bed. And then my ideal plan, if I can do exactly what I want to do, is I'll go back in the afternoon and do another hour. So drilling 2 hours a day in an ideal world is what I would do. I don't know if I can quote unquote afford to spend that much time drilling, but I don't know what you guys are like, but I am a little bit obsessive about pickleball. And in truth, I am a little bit obsessive of a person in general. When I get into something, I really want to do it a lot, and I want to do it at the expense sometimes of other things in my life that I should be doing instead. So I have to be careful not to spend too much time on pickleball, too much time drilling, because I will push it and do it too much at the expense of something else I should be doing. So anyway, let's hit the courts. Let's hit, I don't know, maybe 60 balls per rack. Maybe we hit 4 racks for 240 reps. Maybe we get 5 racks for 300 reps. We'll see how it goes. So the goal for today's drill session, if there's not much wind, I'm going to probably hit a lot more forehand drop shots. That's been my big mission this last couple of weeks, is to get my forehand drop shot really dialed in. So I may hit a bunch more of those today. I'll be honest, I'm getting tired of doing it. I want to move on to something else now. I'm getting bored with hitting the same shot hundreds of times in a row every single day. But you know, that's the repetition that it takes to get good at something. So I probably should do that. It's March, it's windy, so if it is windy like it has been quite a few days this week, I don't really want to try to dial in my drop shot in the wind, because it's kind of a waste of time, because I play most of my games either indoors or in a no-wind situation. So if you dial it in with wind, does that really help you in a no-wind situation? I don't know. Maybe it does a little bit, but if it's too windy, I'll drill something else. I've got plenty of shots I really need to be working on that are probably less finicky on everything just being perfect. Like I could drill drives in the wind and probably work on my technique and be fine, I imagine. But anyway, we'll see what happens when we get out there. I don't see any wind today. I didn't feel any when I was walking to the truck. So we'll just try and see. See you on the court. Alright, so here we go, getting some balls moving through the machine here. First few hits are always just sort of calibrating the brain again, and always pretty bad shots usually, although that one looked pretty good. So some things I'm working on the third shot drop. So what am I thinking of and thinking about here? Always thinking about keeping the knees bent and keeping my body low. That's always a big idea on pretty much every single shot that I'm drilling in pickleball. The other thing is following the ball with my eyes all the way into my paddle. That's probably the number one thing I'm always working on every single shot also. And even more important than keeping the body low is watch the ball, keep your eye on the ball, keep your eye on the ball all the way, literally look at the ball as it is hitting your paddle. That's the goal. I promise you, if you guys will do that, it will make a humongous difference in your ability to hit the sweet spot of your paddle, which makes a humongous difference in your accuracy on your shots. It's truly a game changer. So watching the ball into the paddle is huge. Another thing is hit the ball on the fall. I wrote that in my notes early on when I started practicing third drops, and it's made a humongous difference. So basically what that is ball timing or strike timing. You want to make sure you hit that ball after it's hit the peak of its apex on its downward trajectory. After it bounces, it'll go up and then down. You want to make sure you're hitting it on the down. It's really easy to, if you don't know that, to be too close in the court and hit the ball while it's still rising. It's kind of a newbie mistake, but we're all newbies at one point or another, so be sure you're hitting your third shot drops with the ball falling into the paddle. That makes a big difference in your accuracy, and it feels way better too. You'll notice it immediately. So keep your eye on the ball. Hit the ball on the fall. What else am I thinking about here? Always thinking about making my stroke very small and compact and having essentially zero backswing. You'll never see the paddle go behind me. You'll see it go down and up, but you won't see it go from back to forward very much. Basically straight down is about as far back as it ever gets, so it actually never goes back. If back means behind me, it never does go back. So zero backswing. One thing I try to keep in mind is keeping my elbows tight to my body. Now, it doesn't really matter what your elbow and left arm does. It's just kind of counterbalance. But I try to keep both elbows tucked into my core, almost touching my sides. This is just a good physical cue to remind yourself to stay very, very tight and compact. And it's really helped me to reduce my backswing, is keep my elbows tucked into my core, right into my side. Don't let the paddle travel back at all. So that's another thing I'm watching and think about here. Next up, I'm thinking about always make my body's momentum and my weight traveling forward as I hit the shot, never backwards. It's okay if your body's perfectly stable. That's an okay option too, but never be hitting this shot on your heels, and always be seeking to hit it with your weight traveling forward, like I did right there. So that's one thing I'm always trying to do, is step into the shot, and this all comes down to strike timing. You want to step into the shot, but you also want to hit the ball in the fall. So that becomes a little computation that your brain has to do by reading how fast the ball is traveling and how far it's traveling. So keeping your eye on the ball allows you to perform a perfect computation on ball speed and ball distance. And because you can do that, your brain can do that, it can tell your feet exactly where to put your body so that you are hitting the ball on the fall while your momentum is going forward. If you'll do all that stuff, your shots will improve. And it's really hard to do all that stuff at first when you're learning this. It certainly was for me. It's actually a whole lot of stuff to learn at once. But when you do learn it, it makes a humongous difference. All right, guys, thanks, and I will catch you on the next one.